Hi everyone! As most of you know, Thomas posted the new asides a few days ago, and it was quite the wild ride. Today we are going to be following up on some of our old theories and covering a couple new ones.
Our first video on the channel covered what we believe the orange side represents and all of our evidence supporting our claim. The new asides further proved our theory. In our original video, we said, "With this knowledge, we can assume the word for what the orange side represents has not been spoken in canon. Therefore, the new side cannot represent wrath, sloth, or even anger. We would like to propose that the new side represents rage, a synonym for anger which has never been uttered in the series. In Dante's Inferno, the fifth circle of hell is known as anger or rage, and it is the final circle of hell associated with the 7 deadly sins. It just so happens that this is the only circle that encompasses 2 of the 7 deadly sins, whereas all of the others exhibit only 1. Rage is both the sin of wrath and the sin of sloth. Dante describes wrath as anger that is expressed, and sloth as anger that is repressed. This theory is justified in the new episode, as Logan's outburst is one of rage, and Thomas spends a large amount of the video denying the tasks he is supposed to do, arguably being lazy. The flash we get of the orange side is brought about by quite literally a mix of rage and sloth-like behavior.
Now let's talk about Logan's eye moment. We all know the one. As Logan continues to get more frustrated with Remus, Thomas becomes angry at Nico's lack of response. This causes Logan to lash out, his eyes flaring orange. Afterwards, he seems disoriented, almost like he forgot where he was. This also feeds into one of our theories. As previously stated, we think the phrase blinded by rage is very important. Janus, Remus, and the orange side, in that order, make up the saying, speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil.
We have theorized that the orange side's ability may be to blind the other sides with their repressed rage, causing them to lash out at others, saying what they have been holding back. This has clearly come true. Logan's eyes flashing is most likely the orange side controlling him, and we see that Remus recognizes this. We believe Logan's eyes are similar to the way Janus can cover the other side's mouths. Also, this isn't a theory or anything, just a look at the similarities between this concept art Rachel did and Logan in the new episode.
One of the most prominent things featured in the newest asides was an after-credit scene, much darker than any of that we've seen before. The audience follows a tree branch to where Janus is sitting, watching the other sides from afar. At this point, the lighting has changed drastically, and instead of being reminiscent of a warm summer afternoon, it is the ominous grayscale of an approaching storm.
This brings us to the next detail. On the ground outside of the tree, the 3 light sides are standing in what appears to be a horizontal line away from the tree. In contrast, Virgil is leaned up against the tree. Since the tree seems to, in this instance, represent Thomas's mind whilst on his date, as his romantic, moral, and logical sides are at the forefront, anxiety follows closely behind, and the darker parts of Thomas are hidden from view. Virgil being leaned up against the tree could also be representative of him being stuck in limbo, somewhere between the dark and the light. Since his admittance to Thomas that he was once a dark side, he may be questioning where he belongs.
Once we are in the tree with Janus, he breaks the 4th wall, being the first character in any asides video to address the camera. While the sides are all aware of the camera during a normal video, the asides address everyday events in Thomas's life and are supposed to be unfiltered. He assures the audience, in the creepiest way possible, that everything will be fine, then proceeds to bite into a green apple. The moment he does this, the screen fades to black and a pair of orange eyes flash at the audience as the video ends.
In our video about possible names for the orange side, we examine the other side's names, including Janus. This was the information we found.
Deceit revealed his name in the episode entitled Selfishness versus Selflessness Redux. Once again, rooted in Roman mythos, Janus is the name of the god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, and endings. Deceit is considered the gatekeeper. He is in charge of keeping the dark sides hidden, holding them back from Thomas. The god is usually depicted as having 2 faces, one looking to the past, the other looking to the future. A clear inspiration for Deceit's split down the middle makeup. Kronos has no definitive meaning, however it is possible it comes from the Greek word for crow.
Cronus' rule over the world before being overthrown by Zeus is known as the Golden Age. Another Golden Age occurred during the life of the poet Virgil, when Augustus was the leader of Rome. During his reign, the gates of the Temple of Janus were opened only 3 times, just as the gates of Thomas's mind were opened to the 3 dark sides. When the gates were closed, there was peace. The poet Virgil said that the doors of the Temple of Janus kept the war in. With this knowledge in mind and the timing of the eyes flashing relative to Janus biting into the green apple, it appears that Janus consuming the apple is a representative means of opening the gate in Thomas's mind, in this case specifically to release the orange side. This is also evidenced by the Duke song, also known as Forbidden Fruit. During the song, Remus says,
Recently a snake offered me a morsel from the tree of knowledge. He said, you're wanting to be more honest.
and be direct dealing with your issues. No longer will you deceive yourself about the ugliness within you.
Here, the references to Genesis and the forbidden fruit are once again a main theme surrounding Janus, and in this case, it seems as though Remus is telling the story of the gate being open for himself. The odd thing is that the forbidden fruit of the Garden of Eden is almost always depicted as the red apple, and Janus's apple is green. Upon further research, we discovered that green apples often represent matters of the mind, where red apples represent matters of the heart. Being that the orange side is Logan's opposite, a green apple makes sense in this context. Green apples can also represent a drastic life change that one is not yet ready for, but must soon accept, and the orange side's introduction can definitely be seen as a drastic life change for Thomas.
Apples are an important symbol in several mythologies. In Greek mythos, something that Thomas continues to draw inspiration from, apples were very integral. Specifically, the Greek goddess Eris threw a golden apple onto the table at the Feast of the Gods. The apple had an inscription reading, "To the fairest." Athena, Hera, and Aphrodite all grabbed for the apple, and this event is what caused the Trojan War. The apple thereafter was known as the Apple of Discord.
Why would we be talking about a golden apple, you ask? Janus's apple was green, you may say. Well, in ancient Greece, they actually only had one word for fruit trees: citron. Judging by the fruit grown there today and the records kept during the century most of the myths were recorded in, the apple actually would have been an orange. That's right, an orange. And now you may doubt us, but oranges are orange. Wrong. A ripe orange that has not been treated with ethylene gas is a golden color, not the bright orange we know.
Thank you guys for all your support. We hope you enjoyed our theory. Please tune in next week when we go to Olympus and discover Thomas Sanders has actually been a Greek god the whole time.